Welcome to the podcast no one asked for.
I'm Sienna.
And I'm Morgan, and today we are talking
The Drowning of
Natalie Wood.
Wood.
Dun dun dun.
Another true crime episode.
True crime.
Unsolved.
Very much unsolved, but it's, to some people, probably solved, and some others not solved.
And we'll let you know what we think.
This is one of the first, well-known, famous people, deaths and everything like that we will talk about. If you don't know who Natalie Wood is.
Yeah, Natalie Wood was an American actress. She died when she was 43, November 29th, 1981, in Santa Catalina Island, California. But, when I heard her name, I didn't know who she was. I knew her face.
I had heard the name before, but I could not put a face to it.
During the time she died, she was, still pretty big. She was one of the biggest actresses.
Yeah.
But she's known as Maria from West Side Story.
Iconic.
Yes. She was the little girl in Miracle on 34th Street.
I didn't know that, but I haven't seen that
movie.
movie.
Either.
I haven't seen that movie. I haven't seen the old one.
Yeah, the original.
I haven't seen either.
Yeah, I think I saw the second one. Isn't it with, Betty White or something?
I know.
No. Is that another movie?
I don't know. Betty White's in a Christmas
movie?
movie?
She's in some movie.
You sure it's not just Santa?
No.
I think Miracle on 34th Street, the remake.
The original.
The remake one is isn't that with the kid from A Christmas Story? Am I wrong?
I don't know. I
think I get the Christmas Story poster and Miracle on 34th Street remake mixed up.
Man.
Anyway.
But she was also in, she was the love interest in Rebel Without a Cause with freaking James
I need
Dean.
to see Rebel Without a Cause. I've heard so much about it.
I haven't seen anything with James Dean, but I've seen a documentary about James Dean where James Franco played him, back in the 90s.
Oh, yeah, I remember he played him. I haven't seen that, but I remember he played, oh my gosh.
Honestly, great portrayal of him.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably in real life,
yeah.
too. But, I knew her as Maria once I figured out her name.
That was the other thing I know her from.
West Side Story,
West Side Story. It's on Netflix. I've been meaning to watch it.
West Side Story.
It's long.
I forgot.
It's 2.5 hours.
I remember watching that in theater class for the first time. And
I watched it in choir.
I don't even know. But I just remember watching it at school and I was just like, this is awesome. But I don't remember. Maybe because we split it up in between days, of course.
Yeah.
But I didn't imagine it. We watched Pearl Harbor at school and that's 3 hours long. That didn't seem like a lifetime.
No, your class watched Pearl Harbor.
That's right.
My class didn't. Because we had two different
history.
That year, what was it, junior year?
Yeah.
We had too many kids in history class for the same period. And they split them up. And one was with an awesome coach.
Yep.
The other one was just with
the worst teacher. And I remember they called it the names, and I was just like, "Don't say my name."
I know.
And I was like, "Yeah." And then they said your name, and I was like, "Oh no!"
And I had to pack up my bags, go across the hall.
No,
Can I just say, that teacher?
Teacher gave me problems.
Well, my name's Sienna.
She never called you the right name.
Cianna, and it's always blown my mind when people say Sienna. Someone...
That's an E in there.
Yeah, I'm someone recently said Sienna in class during my May semester, and I was where are you getting the E? Know your alphabet? Sound out.
But also, most of the time, Sienna is spelled Sienna.
I don't understand. I really don't understand. But basically, I had this teacher from 8th grade to freaking graduation.
It was
and
all of us
did. I kid you not. For 5 freaking years, she said Sienna. And in 8th grade, the first time it happened, I'm like, oh, it's Sienna. She's like, oh, okay, I'll get it right. I'm still learning.
Right. But by senior
year,
graduation,
Sienna, are you next? Even other classmates in 8th grade would say, ma'am, it's Sienna. And she'd be like, oh, sorry, I'm just so forgetful, which we both know she was.
Yeah, very much so.
But 5 years?
Also, I now that I think about it, you had her more than me.
Yes, I had her
because you had her that year that we split up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, anyway.
Oh yeah,
we got way off. Anyway.
That's who Natalie Wood is.
Yes.
She was an American actress.
Yeah. Okay, anyway. So the drowning. So she died of a drowning on November 29th, 1981. Around 7:30 a.m., her body was found face down in the water, 200 yards from Santa Catalina Island in California. She was wearing a nightgown, a red jacket, and blue wool socks. And,
What a look.
pulling everything off. Growing up, Natalie's mother instilled a fear of dark water in her. I mean, night
Yeah.
swimming, not a thing. No. At one point, a fortune teller told Natalie that she would die from drowning.
Big yikes. That's kind of oof.
Fortune tellers? Are they real? Maybe. Maybe
Man.
not. She became even more afraid at age 10 when she was on a movie set and she walked across a bridge and fell into water.
Gosh. I think her mom told her, oh, you can walk across it safe.
Right.
And then it just
I feel like literally no one cared about injuries or anything in the past on movie sets as much as they do today. So I was reading about the Wizard of Oz the other day, and it's like toxic paint for the witch and blah blah blah. And I'm like, you don't care. Like, she got burns. I'm like, fell into the water, she'll be fine. She had consistent nightmares of drowning, and some said she was even afraid to wash her hair. Good grief.
It was like extreme.
So she was like, she had like a water fear.
Yeah, it wasn't just like she also couldn't swim because of that. Obviously, she didn't want to be in water. But it wasn't like like clowns scare me, or like to where it's just like it scares you, but it's not like, okay, like if I see a clown,
it's like a phobia.
Yeah, she had like a straight up phobia. So she was like afraid to take a shower.
Right.
Even though it was like, you're not like a bath, I could see.
Right.
But bath the water's going down the drain in the shower. Anyway, okay, so 1981, she was filming the movie Rainstorm with Christopher Walken.
I remember hearing about. I didn't know he was involved in this until I finally watched something about it, and I was like,
that makes it even crazier
because he's a current actor.
He's Christopher Walken.
He's the person who most impressionists know how to do real easily.
Yeah, can you do it?
I don't want to try. I'd butcher it, but more cowbell.
It's like, wow.
It's a weird. I've seen, he's in one of the most iconic SNL sketches with the cowbell and Will Ferrell and Jimmy Fallon. It's breaking. It's hilarious. But I haven't seen. I was like, I know who he is, but I've maybe seen 2 movies with him in it, and they're both low budget.
Which ones?
Hairspray.
Oh, Hairspray. That's where I see him. Remember he owned the joke store?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't his best performances. The other one, he played the villain or whatever. I don't know if you consider it a villain. I consider it a villain. When I was a kid, I used to love this movie. Do not. There's one song in it that I still listen to. I literally added it to my. It's Country Bears.
Oh. He was in Country Bears?
He was the villain in Country Bears.
First of all, I loved that movie.
Really?
But I don't remember Christopher Walken. I remember like scrolling through like TV and seeing what's going to show on Disney at 7:00 that Friday night. And it was Country Bears.
It's one of the first movies I bought on iTunes.
Wow. I did not know he was in I haven't seen the movie in so long.
Yeah, because that was just like, I remember him
Bears in a country band? Are you kidding me? That's genius. It was great.
Kicking into Gear was my song when I was a kid.
I do not remember him being in that.
Yeah, he was a villain. Anyway.
Okay. So they were filming, they were going to be co-stars together. And Natalie Wood invited Christopher Walken to join herself and her husband Robert Wagner on their yacht. And Robert Wagner was also like a big time actor. I don't know what he's in. Like,
I don't know either.
I don't know who he is.
I feel like I've heard the name before other than this.
Yeah.
But I could not tell you without looking at IMDb.
This was the second time she married him. Because they were married, divorced. She marries someone else, divorces them, gets back with Robert.
I was looking at the dates for that. She like married him, and then she married this other guy, I don't know how many years later. Mm-hmm. But the same year she divorced that other guy, the same year she remarried him.
Yeah.
I was like, where did you have time?
What a telenovela.
No.
The captain / family friend, Dennis Davern, was also there on the boat. Or yacht, whatever you want to call it. And Davern claimed that Natalie had become very infatuated with Walken on set.
Why?
Because I know, honestly, why?
He's not attractive.
I don't think so.
Not even back then.
Mm-mm. And at one point, Robert Wagner even flew to the movie set just to make sure nothing was going on.
Boy, you had nothing to worry about. I know.
And at the same time, Natalie had a lot of jealousy with Wagner and his on-screen romance. Because he was in like a detective show. I think it was a couple detective show.
Who is this?
Like Stephanie Powers. I think I just
Oh,
said
I've
her
heard that
name
name
so
before.
wrong. Yeah.
I don't know what to put her in though.
But yeah, so Natalie was jealous, and then Robert was jealous. So it was like bad combination. And then they left on the yacht at noon, November 27th. And then for most of the trip, all four of them have been drinking a lot.
Of course, that's how every bad thing happens.
So buckle up, because this is when it gets interesting.
So the night of November 27th, Natalie and Wagner argued. This caused the captain to get concerned and ask Walken to get involved. He didn't, saying to never get involved with an argument between a man and a wife. Later on, Davern, the captain, took Natalie on the shore in a 13-foot inflatable boat called Prince Valiant. She slept in a hotel, and the first time Davern was questioned about this, he lied and said they had all slept on the yacht.
Tisk, tisk, tisk.
Can't lie. When he told the truth after evidence was found that they were in a hotel, Davern said they spent the night in the same room where they drank wine and went to sleep. They returned to the yacht the next morning on November 28th. Davern said that in his friendship with Natalie, he felt very protective of her and she was comfortable with him.
So they were close.
Yeah, just friends.
Okay, so Christopher Walken expressed to Natalie whenever they got back that he really wanted her to stay on the yacht the rest of the trip. Okay. The two of them went to a bar on the island to drink, where they were joined by the others later on.
Ooh.
And a waitress at this bar said that Natalie did not eat much and seemed to be in a bad mood. She was stumbling on her way out.
Why would you not eat when you're drinking?
Man, I don't know. Davern said Natalie and Walken acted very flirty at dinner.
Why?
They went back to the yacht around 10 p.m. And as they boarded, a witness said they heard Natalie scream about something.
Dun, dun,
Don't know
dun.
what. Like, they couldn't make out what she was saying, but they just, like, could hear her screaming. People on a nearby boat said they heard shouting around midnight. There was a party on another boat nearby, so they ignored it. But then these people also claimed to have heard a woman shouting, "Help me, someone please help me." And then a man's drunken voice say, "Okay, honey, we'll get you." But the man seemed to have a mocking tone. So it was like, "Okay, honey, we'll get you." Like,
Because
it's
maybe...
either sarcastic or something.
Yeah, well, he was drunk, but
Yeah.
then it's like she's drunk, possibly. So, witnesses say that before Natalie disappeared, a nonviolent argument occurred.
Man, what happened after they went to dinner?
Good grief, who knows? Wagner said that they had a political debate with Walken that had started at dinner. Nothing good
Goodness.
ends in a political debate. I don't know what the politics were back then, but
Yeah.
it doesn't work now. But during the debate, Natalie sat there looking bored and left. They kept talking for another hour.
They went at it.
That would so be me, though.
Gosh.
When Wagner went to kiss her goodnight, he realized that Natalie was missing.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. At 1:30 a.m., Wagner and Davern made a distress call. She was found dead at 7:30 a.m.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
The inflatable boat was found washed up on the rocks further away. The ignition was off, gear shift set to neutral, and the oars were locked. This means she could have never started the boat.
Ooh. Plot
What?
twist. So before she disappeared, she had already had 7 to 8 glasses of wine. She also didn't eat at dinner, according to the waitress, so...
So if she didn't eat and she had
Lots of
7 to 8
factors
glasses
going
of
on.
wine, she's blackout drunk
Yeah.
probably.
But this is where, like, we started getting into the theories of, like, her death, because there's quite a few. So her body, when it was found and they examined it, she had bruises on her arms and legs and a cut on her cheek. The police ended up calling her death an accident, like accidental drowning,
Right.
and said the bruising was due to her falling out of the boat. And there were scratch marks on the side of the boat.
Of the boat.
So they were like, oh, she was probably clinging onto it and like,
Right.
oh, that would like
Ooh,
hurt.
I was thinking, I'm like, that's boat, that's a metal, that's...
Well, it's inflatable, so...
Oh, the inflatable boat. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but Natalie's sister, I forget her name, but she looked like Lana Del Rey. Actually, I think that was her name.
That's her name, Lana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She looks like her, though.
Oh.
Like, in the picture they use of her. Anyway, her sister disagrees with this being an accidental drowning because since her sister had such, like, a deep-rooted fear of water, she didn't know how to swim, so why would she try going on a boat all by herself?
Right.
Even if she was drunk, would she want to live out
No.
her biggest fear just because she's drunk? That's just, like, I think her drunken self will be, like, still aware.
Right. You're
This
like,
is my
it's
worst
water.
fear.
I know not.
Gosh.
Wagner suddenly had an entire theory all worked out.
Interesting.
He said that the inflatable boat would always hit the side of the yacht, making a noise that bothered Natalie. He suggested that she got up to tighten the ropes and just fell in.
I beg to differ. Also, others disagreed with this because the boat was inflatable.
Right.
So if it was hitting a yacht, it would like make a little noise, but
Right.
not to the extent to where it's like,
Yeah.
I can't sleep.
Right.
So he was like, where the ladder was to step into the boat, there was like some algae there. So if you like went to the ladder, you stepped in the algae, you would have seen like a footprint or some type of marking to move the algae around because you just like mess with it. And when people looked at it, the algae was untouched. So, that kind of debunks what he said. But I thought it was weird that he had an entire, like, if you, in any case, if you have an entire explanation as to why this person died.
Right, and like you know everything word for word, and you like have it. He's an actor; he can memorize a monologue.
Yeah. Then it just immediately.
It's too perfect.
Yeah, it's like, how, like, why do you think this?
Right.
Man. So that's pretty much theory number 1. That she just like fell out of the boat.
Right.
But then there were like still the inconsistencies of what Wagner said. And that was also his account of what happened in the night.
That she like fell off the boat.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is what happened after that, like, I'm gonna sleep or whatever.
Right.
But theory number 2, /3, I don't know. Some people think the captain did it because they were like, he was in love with Natalie, and it ended up becoming this like love square, I guess you could say, that like he loved Natalie, Robert loved Natalie, Natalie was married to Robert, but she also kind of had a thing for Christopher Walken,
Right.
who was just chilling, like literally, he's not a suspect. He never was. He
doesn't
like,
talk about it.
Yeah, he was just there. That's why I was like, wait, he was involved in this?
Right.
Because they don't really talk about it.
He doesn't do a lot to this day.
Yeah.
Like, you just know who he is.
Mm-hmm. But, I'm trying to think what else it was. So, some people do think that he just, like, killed Natalie, maybe out of rage, like, jealousy, rage.
Yeah.
But then, people think Robert Wagner could have done something to Natalie out of jealous rage because of her and Christopher Walken. Which, honestly...
When he's drunk?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Not far
Her
off.
sister, Natalie's sister said, I don't think Wagner is, like, capable of doing something like this, but I'm also aware of how much drinking and arguing there was.
Right.
So she, like, said it wasn't him, but also said it was him.
Also, how does he have that much of an account of the night being that
Exactly.
drunk? That doesn't make sense.
But also, Dennis Davern, the captain, and Christopher Walken had very similar accounts of what happened throughout the night, like the order of how things happened and whatnot, compared to Robert Wagner. His was very different. But it's like, okay, 2 against 1.
They don't add
But
up.
basically, they were like, Wagner and Natalie Wood were arguing for a bit. That could have led to something. There was shattered glass on the boat. And Wagner was asked about it, and he was like, oh, like, the water just knocked it over, like, this to us. But they were like, they weren't moving. They were at a dock.
So they were just kind of like,
yeah, they were
chilling. Idle, but they were just kind of like swaying.
But it wasn't enough to knock it over. So
right.
Some people were like, well, what if he threw the glass or like he did something?
Yeet.
Who knows? So Dennis Davern does believe there was like foul play in her death. He doesn't think it was an accident. Honestly, who does?
It could be an accident.
But Wagner was never a suspect. And they reopened the case in 2011. And then 2012, 2013, somewhere around there, they, like, re-examined the body, and the doctors determined that the bruises and the cut on her cheek had to have happened before she fell.
Ooh.
Like, if she
New
did,
technology.
like, if she did just fall out of the boat, there was no way she could have had, like, bruises where they were located in the cut on her cheek just from that.
Right.
So, I mean, we kind of
He could have been abusive.
Yeah. But also, it's like what her sister said. I don't think he would do it when he's sober, but...
When he's drunk, it's a whole different person.
And with how much they had, like, over the
she
course of
had,
those days.
But also, whatever he had, empty stomach equals no bueno.
And who knows, maybe he, like, did hit her or something. Maybe he used the glass or whatever, and it killed her, and then he just staged it to look like a drowning.
Yeah, because she could have, like, fallen. He could have made her look like she fell off the boat. Or, like... He could have just pushed her.
We'll never know. Because that's all we know.
Because this case is
He
unsolved.
he talks about her drowning. He wrote like an autobiography.
Yeah.
And he talks about it.
They have a daughter together. Have you seen her? What she looks like?
No, I didn't know that they did.
Yeah, they have a daughter. Her name is Courtney Wood, and she looks like Natalie a little bit, but you see that she has like Robert Wagner in her just a little bit. But I see like Natalie. There's like a little bit of her in her face, but then there's like
they
some
have
of him.
like the same eyes.
Yeah, that exactly. What is Robert Wagner?
Wait, then how old was the daughter?
7 years old.
Okay, Morgan.
Pink
so now that
Panther.
we've gone over the details, what do you think happened?
I don't know. I kind of think it might have actually been an accident, but then there's also that side that's like, she didn't like water.
Yeah.
And
Doesn't matter what state
she was
in.
drunk, and who knows what could happen if she was drunk,
Mm-hmm.
basically. So, who knows?
I feel like the people are right, and that Natalie's sister is right, that Wagner is leaving some things out, and that he knows more than he's letting on.
He'll take it to his grave because he's pretty old now.
Yeah. Man, I hate that. I hate unsolved cases, but I love them at the same time.
I like justice and finality and things.
Mm-hmm. I just want the truth. I want to stop.
You can't handle the truth!
And I don't think I could. All right. That's the case, the drowning of Natalie Wood.
Hope you enjoyed. We are going to give you our songs for
Yes.
this week.
I can go first.
Yes.
Do you remember the band Walk the Moon? They sing Shut Up and
Yeah.
Dance. And like another song called One Foot that's like, I've seen a lot of commercials, like one foot in front of the other.
Oh, yeah.
That one.
I feel like it's like a Target commercial
Yeah.
song.
I didn't know that was them. But anyway, I like listened to some of their music the other day because I was like, what happened to them? And I came across one song I've been obsessed with. It's called Surrender. I told you about it already because I when I sent it to you and like sitting in our group message, I had said that.
Oh, yeah, I hadn't listened to it.
Whenever I listen to it, it makes me feel like I'm in the 80s. Like trying to figure out my life's purpose. Like I'm in a montage and I'm like in a car, the top's down like a convertible. And I'm just like sitting in the back or I'm driving and I'm just like driving through the city late at night.
You just imagine
Thoughts in
yourself
my
in the
head.
music videos.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the 80s.
80s.
And then
Totally
I'm just like
80s.
trying to figure out like a decision or like my
Contemplating your
life's purpose.
life?
Yeah, literally that's what I feel like when I listen to that song.
Okay.
Or am I like a high school dance? And I'm like standing off to the side and like I'm sitting on the bleachers and the song comes on.
Good grief. You played, you want to shoot a music video?
That's the vibe I get.
Okay.
So Surrender by Walk the Moon.
Okay. So, a lot of good music coming out in the next few weeks. Oh my gosh, there's a Lion King sneak peek. Okay.
Just got that notification.
Speaking of Disney, it's not going to be my song of the week, but Aladdin, just got to say.
I need to see it still.
Freaking amazing. Soundtrack, amazing. After I watched it. Before I watched it, it was awful.
Yeah.
But highly recommend that. Just the entire movie. Anyway, my song of the week, though, comes from, this is the Jonas Brothers coming out with an album this weekend.
Yes.
This past week, Miley Cyrus came out with a small EP.
She did?
Yeah. It's like 6 songs.
Oh my gosh.
Not all for me, basically.
Mm-hmm.
She has one song called Catitude with RuPaul. And
oh my god.
so weird. It's so weird.
Okay, I think I heard about that on Twitter. People
They're-
were like, this is terrible.
Because there's all these memes going around with her being like, I listen to, sorry Nicki, but I listen to Cardi. She's like, sorry Selena, but I listen to Demi, and sorry blah, 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 I listen to Ari or whatever.
What?
And because she says the line, I'm sorry Nicki, but I listen to Cardi in the song.
Mm-hmm.
And so all these memes came out about like somebody listening to somebody, but I listen to this. And I was like, ooh, I can't wait to hear this song. And then I hear it and I'm like, this sounds, because for one, RuPaul's in it, but it's very, very much something you would probably hear in RuPaul's show.
I didn't know, sign on RuPaul. You know in the Lizzie McGuire movie, the makeover scene where she's like on the runway?
Yeah.
It's like, you gotta run. Da, da, da. I don't know where.
Oh, yes!
Like,
That's
work it,
RuPaul!
girl. That's him. And I had no idea until like a couple days ago.
Oh, that's right. I forget that
I
he
was
does
big
music.
shook. Yeah, I didn't even know. The more you know. Wait, is this your song?
No,
Okay.
no, I'm just saying, I was talking about, because, like, there's a lot of songs on this album that are not for me. One of them is that I listened to it, and I was just like, this is meant to be played at, like, RuPaul's Drag Race.
How did
or
you
like,
go from Malibu to this?
dude, I will play you this song just to see, just, like, a little bit of it,
Oh,
because
God.
it's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Okay, then what's your song?
My song is off of that thing. There's a few of them that are actually really good. One of them is called the one I chose that I like is called Mother's Daughter.
Mm-hmm.
It's pump up kind of,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like I'm like, okay, gets me pumped up,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just like, because
The hype song.
the hype song, because there's two other songs I like on there that are a little bit more mellow, but they're like great, and I'm like, but this one I'm just like, my pump up,
Mm-hmm.
pumping up the party now. But yeah.
Hey.
Get up, get loud. I'm pumping up the party now.
The way she says like, hey.
Hey. It sounds like old school, like Christina. Hey.
It's like I can't sing, and then they hit that kind of
It's
note.
like, hey.
Man.
But yeah, that is my song "Mother's Daughter" by Miley
Mother's
Cyrus.
Daughter. Dang.
Very good song. The rest of the album
Honey.
for certain audience.
Yeah. That ain't it. All right. We hope you enjoyed.
Bye.
Bye.